Guys, this is the one secret to improve your credit score by 100 points. Millions of Americans are dealing with debt, late payments, collections, all of the above, and they don't know how to maneuver their credit to utilize it to the best way possible. With this strategy that we're going to talk about today, this secret is going to reveal how to manipulate when you pay your credit card to give you that 100-point boost that you're looking for. Many people pay their credit card on the due date. If I was to ask you when your statement close date is, would you know? A lot of people that I ask, hey, do you know your statement close date? They start looking like this. Because they simply don't know. A lot of people don't know when their statement closes is, and they don't even know what a statement close date is. Like I mentioned, over 90% of the people I share this tip with are just left baffled. They literally are tripping when I say that, like, what? Statement close date? What? But all the statement close date is what it says. It's when your statement closes. So check this out. When your statement closes, that balance gets now reported to the credit bureaus. So a lot of people, when they pay their balance on the due date, they already had that balance reported, so it doesn't help them at all. So let's do this quick example so you can understand. So let's say, for example, you have a $2,000 credit card, and that $2,000 credit card, you had a $1,000 balance, and you paid the whole thing, $1,000 gone like that on your due date. You're happy. You're like, man, this is great. I paid my balance just like that. The next credit report comes, you had a 0% utilization on the past credit report, and this one now you have 50%. And you're probably like, oh my God, why did my credit score just drop like that? Well, you got to think about it. That's 50% utilization. The whole goal is to have it between 1 and 10%. So already it's at 50, your credit score is going to drop. And the reason why it drops, guys, is because your credit utilization weighs 30% of your credit score. So a lot of people, they have a perfect credit report, clean, no late payments, no collections, no derogatory items, nothing, nada. But what happens is, because their utilization is so high, their credit score tends to be in the low 600s, maybe even the high 500s. So if you really want to maximize your credit score and be in the 700s, you need to make sure your utilization is between 1 to 10%. So going back to the statement close date. So now we know that after the statement close date, your balance gets reported to the credit bureaus. So what would happen if we were to pay our balance before the statement close date? Check this out. So let's say that $1,000 balance you paid before the statement close date, now you're going to have a zero balance. If you don't use that card for about 3 to 5 days, even better, 5 to 7 days to really let it report. After it reports over to the credit bureaus, now you're going to have a $0 balance reporting on the next cycle, and your credit score is going to shoot back up. So that's why it's super important to pay before the statement close date, because you want the lowest balance reporting. To recap, I'll give another example just to make sure everybody understands the one secret we talked about today, which is paying before the statement close date, right? So what you're going to do, a lot of people are going to have questions on, how do I even find my statement close date? The way you can find your statement close date is you can either call up your bank. That's probably the easiest way if you don't want to sort through your files and everything. You can just call them like, hey, when is my statement close date? And they should tell you pretty easily. The second thing you can do, if you know how to maneuver around your bank's app, is go on your credit card or whatever account it is, and on the app it should also tell you the statement close date. Some apps, it's a little harder to find the statement close date, but it should be there. Or if you have a bill coming in the mail, it should also stay when the statement close date is. So what I would do is set a reminder in your calendar, maybe 2 or 3 days before your statement close date, and those 2 to 3 days before your statement close date, that will be your new technical due date, right? So make sure you guys are keeping track of that, because it's going to help in the long run. Let's say you're somebody that's credit scores around the low 600s right now, and you keep getting those high balances reported, and you're trying to put it down as much as possible. Guys, the quickest thing you can do is find that statement close date, pay it before then. Don't use that card. Just let it sit for 5 days. Let it report onto the new cycle, and then when that new credit report comes in, you should see your score skyrocket anywhere between 50 to 100 points. And like I said, why? Because that utilization is so heavy on your credit score. The next thing you could do is payment history, but that's going to be for another video. So if you just did this one secret and didn't do anything else, your credit score should increase. Now remember, let's say if you're somebody that's at 80% utilization, and this strategy helps you get to 30% utilization in the next credit report, and it goes up, you still want to keep doing it until you can get to 1%. So if you're at 30, try to get to 10. If you're at 10, try to get to 1, because 1 to 10% is really the sweet spot. A lot of people say 30%. I even recommend it to most of my clients, but that's just because if you tell somebody to go from 90 to 10, they're going to be like, 90 to 30 is more realistic. But once you're at 30, it can get even better by going to 10%. I know for a fact, because when I was younger, I would have my credit utilization at 25, and my credit score the last month would be like a 770, and it would drop to a 710 just because my credit utilization went up like 15, 20%. All I had to do was pay it before the statement close date, pay it on time, everything, and then boom, my credit utilization goes right back down to 0 or 1%, and now my credit score is super high, right? So you just want to make sure you understand these dates, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. I'll see you guys next time.